Thank you so much for joining us today at the Empowerment Zone. My name is Lina Khalife. I'm the founder of Shefighter, and I'm going to be your host for today. The Empowerment Zone focuses on highlighting the achievement and voices of women, entrepreneurs, feminists, martial artists all over the world to share their stories with everybody. Today, my guest is an amazing friend from San Francisco, Kelly Burns. Her nickname is Angel. I prefer to use Angel because she is such an angel. Who I met in 2019 at Millie's College conference, and we directly connected. We even talked about, the iPhone and the technologies that are very complicated. And she even gave me a chopsticks. I'm gonna check. I still have it. Do you know that, Kelly? Do you know that? I still have it. The same one. I yeah, I'm gonna so Kelly, I'm gonna un oh, can you unmute yourself, Kelly? Because I think you muted yourself.
All right, there you
Oh,
go.
great.
Do
Yeah.
you even use that thing?
Oh yeah, I still use it. You know, the same one.
That thing is like a year old.
I know, I still
That's
use it.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
you
There's
see,
no
that's like no expire. I don't care. I don't care if there's an expiry date. I still use it. It
no,
still
there's no
works.
expiration date on chapstick.
Oh yeah, there's
There
no,
isn't.
but they're the best, as you told me, because I always have like dry lips.
That's funny. That is
But
funny.
yeah, but I'm so excited to have Kelly Burns. I think everybody must and should hear her story. And she always developed a relationship with God, which is amazing. And her second important thing is freedom. So please welcome Kelly Burns. And starting with the first question, so your second favorite thing is freedom, but what is your first favorite thing and most important thing?
I think my most important thing is my relationship with God, and trying to maintain that balance between my life and God, making sure that, I keep him a priority focus because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't uh, have the blessings that I have, but I wouldn't have my freedom without him, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And tell me more about your childhood. You did not grow up in, you told me, I think it was in Wisconsin or,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
how was
pretty
your childhood?
crazy. It was pretty crazy. There was, my family is my family, but me and my mom went through a lot. There was some child abuse. There were issues that my mom had that I wasn't aware of, even up until the time that she passed. I just found out a lot of things about her. We didn't get along. I used to run away from home, chasing after my father, looking for him, thinking that maybe if he came, that everything would be okay between, him and my mom and me. But as I grew older, I found out that he had his own set of issues. Even when my mom was pregnant, he had another woman pregnant and had a wife and 5 kids. So there was no time for me with him.
Mm,
And I blame my mom for that for a long time. So that's why her and I never really got along. And I started selling drugs, running away from home, doing what I wanted to do, trying to get my dad's attention, not realizing that I was damaging my relationship with my mom.
yeah. So do you believe that if we, I think everybody has faced that during their childhood, like questions are not answered and they are just wondering, whereas because a lot of also single moms have raised kids and they always think that sometimes it's a problem of the mother that she made the father leave, or and they feel always like something is missing. So did you feel if you did not, like, if you accepted the whole situation, that that's how your journey gonna become and that's how God created your path, would you think that things would have been completely different for you, or you still have to go through that path in life?
There are times that I think that if I if my path had to change different, I don't think I would be the person that I am today. And I say that because the things that I went through, like attempted rape situations, fights, just different people, different situations, you know, uh, a lot of drug addicts that I encountered in my life during my selling drug days. didn't never want me to use. They used to talk to me about it. Don't ever use this stuff, Angel. It's bad for you. I said, well, you use it, so what? That's me, kind of thing.
Mm,
So I've always wondered, like, if I never did that, what would my life be? Where would I be? And I really believe that God laid it out for me to make me strong, to make me a resilient person. Because when things change, I'm like, okay. And I just roll with it. And I look at people around me like, oh my God, what am I going to do? They panic. Don't panic when things change.
exactly.
That's when you start to rely on yourself. But you got to talk to God too. You got to be like, look, God, things are changing for me. Give me the strength I need. Help me endure this. He gives you the intelligence to get through things. So you have to rely on that. And I look back and I wish the relationship between me and my mother was different, but then when I look back too, I also realized that she instilled a lot of things in me that I wasn't really aware of until she passed away.
Yeah. When did she pass away?
2016.
Oh, so like, feel like a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
that long ago. It's still
Yeah.
kind of, I just wish she was here to see this,
Mm,
to see me free, my car, my apartment, my job.
yeah.
I'd like to pick up the phone like, hey, mom, what you doing? Let me take you out to dinner or something like that. But, she's gone. But one thing that one of my supervisors in the prison told me, he said, she may be gone physically, but she's someplace where nobody can ever take her away from you. And that's in your blood.
Mm,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I
she,
believe in mostly in like connection, energy connection,
hmm
soul
hmm
connection. So I'm sure most of people, a lot of people are not connected with their loved ones,
hmm
but they are definitely connected in other dimensions which we do not know about.
Yeah,
But we,
but they're running through your body. You gotta remember something. Remember, there's a saying that they have here in America. Anybody can be your daddy, but you only got one mother. You know what I'm
that's right.
saying? And that's
Yeah,
because she was physically connected to you, and her blood is running through you, no matter how long you live. And nothing in this world can ever change that. And so when he told me that, it made me comforted me to realize that it is true. She may be gone physically, but as long as I'm breathing and my
she's in
heart is
your blood.
pumping, she's in my blood all day long.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know when they say like when something happened to the child, the mother feels directly. It's like she is one with the child. So if like her son got a car accident or they something happened badly to her daughter or son, she would feel something in the stomach, like kind of pain, and
hmm
then she would feel it. And the mother is the only person she's that connected to her children. I mean,
Stays that way.
yeah, yeah. Bless God bless all the mothers, right? But I met Angel. It was in 2019.
Yeah, it was in 19.
Oh my God,
Was
in a
it
life.
19? No.
Can you tell them what
Wasn't
did
it
you?
18?
No, 2019. I think it was
Was it?
in March or April, something. I think it like 2 years ago, a few
So
years
that
ago.
would be 18. No, you're right. 19. It
19,
was
19, but
19.
beginning
Yeah.
of 19.
Yeah. In the beginning. Oh my
But
God.
tell people, what did you expect when you heard like a Middle Eastern woman will come
Well, I
down?
thought you were gonna have your head all covered up, with one of the I'm not sure what the outerwear is,
Yeah, yeah,
and might maybe have your because when they say you were from Jordan over there, the first thing I thought was, okay, well, it was really weird because I needed a ride and you needed a ride.
yeah.
And remember that Uber driver?
Uh,
We would could they told me, I said, well, why can't we just share the Uber? So
exactly.
I made it to you and I was supposed to pick you up and we were supposed to meet the Uber.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's gonna have on this,
like
And when you
yeah,
came
covering.
downstairs, I was like, what? I was like, oh yes, we can do this. I mean, we would have something to talk about. I didn't know what I was gonna talk about to you. I was like,
You were
well,
panicking.
yeah, because I'm not sure, do they talk or or I
Yeah,
just went there. And it wasn't even, I'm not a racial person. It was more on the long lines of ethnicity,
Mm,
is what I was worried about. Like, how are we going to communicate ethnically? I don't care about color. I don't care about race. I don't even care about politics. I
mm.
just care about the person. And I'm thinking, okay, she comes down. I got to try to make her comfortable. I'm an aggressive woman. I hope she don't like freak out. And then I'm a big aggressive woman. And then here you come. I'm like, oh, yes. But I thought we was going to do that Uber driver in. She pissed me off.
Yeah, I
Then
can't
she looked
really
at us and was like, oh no. And we were like, what the heck?
like chill.
Lady, for real.
Yeah, I
That was
remember those
crazy.
days. And tell the people why you were invited to speak at Millie's College and which topic.
Well, it was the conference we went to was for the Center for Transformative Action, and the topic was I'm pretty, if I remember correct, we were talking about prison.
Yeah,
People reiterating back into society, and how and what your experience was in prison, and what things that we think should be changed. But it was like it was a really large forum that we spoke in,
yeah,
and it was people from different walks of life involved in it too. And then uh that's when you start talking about Shefighters and what you do over in Jordan, and how, and I was like, wow, that's that's like major, because you're putting your life at risk. The little bit I know, very little I know about over there. I know they don't like you. They don't like what you do. I know that much. So it was like, and still when I talk about you to people, they're like, what? I go, yeah, man, she's the business, you know. But I wasn't scared. I want to get the story out there because the women need support,
mm,
especially those coming out of prison.
yeah.
And like right now, we're struggling. Corona hit hard, and they're closing the one facility in San Francisco for women.
Really?
Yeah, the FOTEP Treasure Island, where I was in San
Mm.
Francisco, they're closing the doors of it on the 30th of November.
Oh, that's really bad. So tell us more about your experience in prison because I think you shared with me a lot of things about injustice, color, and also sisterhood.
Well, basically, I mean, the judicial system sucks as far as women are concerned to me, because they're they're not paying attention to, well, at that time when I was arrested, I did 36 years in prison, and I've been home 2 years and about 6 months. And when I got arrested, there was no tolerance for women at all, period. There was no your husband could beat the crap out of you, and they'll give him a week in prison and he's right back out on the street. But let a woman do something to a man, they lock her up life without. Right now there's issues going on with drop the LWOP. The LWOP is life without
Mm,
parole. And right now, a lot of women are being freed because they're digging into it, but not enough. And it's racist. You get to prison and you figure out, okay, you're trying to do the right thing. You have officers that look at women and they're like, ooh, yeah, why don't you give me a little bit, and they'll bring you a
yeah.
pack of gum, a couple of hamburgers, a bottle of cologne, or some new underwear or something like that. And at that moment in time, women are in a fragile state of mind. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough focus on us mentally to help us deal with what the trauma we just got through. And so there are literally organizations out there now that are fighting for us. Like you have All of Us or None, you have CCWP, the California Coalition for Women's Prisoners, you have the Center for Transformative Action, you have the Women's Social Entrepreneurship Center. Since you left, there's been some new developments, but along with those new developments, there's financial stress on it because Corona has just like did everybody in.
Mm,
So, and then as far as the sisterhood, I have a whole nother family that nothing will ever change that because we're all bonded by time. We did so much time together, that on our side of it, color was nothing. You know what I mean? I got Hispanic, Native American, uh, Asians, Arabic. I have all of these people that are my sisters. You know what I mean? And that's because we watched our children grow up together. We watched family members die, get murdered. We watched so many sisters inside of that place just die because the medical department sucked. You got to pay $5 to go see the doctor, but you got to pay $5 for almost for every issue you got going on. You can only be seen for three things on one copay,
Mm,
and that's $5. So it's so just like stupid. Come on, man. I've been in prison for 30 years and you telling me that you can't take care of me? Or what am I supposed to do when I get out? I can't collect Social Security. You know how much they tried to give me for unemployment? $99 a month
that's nothing.
based on the amount of money that I made in prison. What is that supposed to do? And now that they're closing FOTEP, where are these women supposed to go when they get out of prison?
Yeah,
That's what's pissing me off. And I'm struggling because I really do want to buy a home where these women can come. And it's not like it's a massive whole group of them. And now that the focus, they're helping the battered women. I'm happy that they're helping the battered women, but there's a small group of us like me that are falling through the crack. I don't have a drug addiction. I don't have any children. My family is way on the other side of the United States. So any help that I get, it's on me. But my sisters have been there for me also with that. And that's where that bond comes in at. You know, I have the list of names is just over the top of the people that have been there for me and helped me get through it, and I want to pay it forward. And right now it's a struggle,
yeah,
but I still want to buy that house. I still want to have
yeah.
some place for those sisters to come.
Definitely. You told me about your dream of buying that house and
Mhm.
having the sisters to come. Like, because I was even thinking about it. It's the prison system really suck that they don't even have a plan when they release people. Like, where should they go? Especially if they're like, let's say, sentenced for life, and suddenly they decided that, okay, we need to release some people. Like, I've been to Mexico. I have an amazing friend that works with women in prison, and she decided when I went to Mexico City, she decided to take me to the prison to see that to just know the experience of these women. And some women, they would make them. I don't know if the system in America is the same, but if they're waiting for their trial, they wear a certain uniform, let's say blue, and if they are sentenced for life, they wear like beige, a different color. And
Mhm.
she explained to me that's how this, and most of them are really really old, that it's just like, why are you even keeping them for something? And most of, like, I heard from them, like, most of the things that they've done, it's because a man, they fell in love with a man, and he convinced them that if they kidnap a child, or if they kill a child, or or if they keep him hostage, they would make money. And those women are so in love, and they're like so young, like 18, 19, or even 20. And they were like, they cried tears in that, I remember, in that room. But it was extremely hard. I was even thinking about the prison system. You cannot
That's
keep
true. Yeah.
someone all that time because they did something, like one thing, in their when they're young. And you know how, like, just full of passion when you're young, and like you do crazy things when you're young. It doesn't mean that when you're like 50, 60, 70, it means that you're the same person. They need to
Well, they
release
don't.
a lot of people.
Part of the problem with the prison system at the time that I was getting ready to come home is the psych evaluations. They have you go in front of this psychiatrist and he actually evaluates you, bam, in a split second. okay, you have people that have known me for like the last 30 or 40 years. Why you don't talk to my housing staff, my supervisors, various correctional officers that interact with me on a daily basis? You talking to somebody who's supposed to diagnose me in 45 minutes to an hour. They give you, you got like 2 hours to talk to this person. And the balance of your freedom at the time I was coming home depends on the report that this person makes on you. It's changing, and it has changed a lot. But, you know, if we get back to the subject of it, there's no place for these women to go when they come home. The resources are not lined up. They didn't realize what they were doing when they began to release us. They didn't realize that you can't just release me back into society and say, okay, here, you're free. Everything you struggled for, everything you work for to get that freedom, it doesn't, it helps you communicate out here, but it
Mm,
doesn't help you get started. Like they
exactly.
say, okay, when you get to R&R, that's receiving and release. When you get there, your driver's license and your California ID and your Medi-Cal, all that stuff is going to be there waiting for you. Not true. Not true. That's one of the biggest struggles that the women have when they come home is getting the ID, getting their driver's license, getting their social security card so they can begin to work.
Mm,
It's just it's like it's just bizarre, and then on the other side of it, you haven't been with your family in this type of environment for years. So you still have some of that prison mentality, and you have to wean yourself away from it. You'll never totally get rid of it because I went back to the prison discipline when I got my job. I found what I did in prison actually enhanced me education wise as far as my job is concerned. So I'm good at my job. I'm working where I like to work. I like fixing things,
mm.
so I work for maintenance. But everybody's not going to be that fortunate. You learn soft skills in prison. You learn how to deal with any and everybody. And people are paying thousands of dollars to go to college to learn how to do that.
I know
You know?
that's kind of stupid. I believe like the college I started learning when when I started growing up that all these universities, college, money wasted on education is just it's a whole system of corporate worlds where they suddenly have different jobs and they want those young people to follow those jobs. Like for example, social media specialist, technology, whatever. Like even now, I think they're gonna have something like Zoom specialist or, like so we actually follow what the corporate world will just give us more jobs, and people would say, oh, I'm going to go for college for that degree or that degree. I'm like, you need to stop wasting your money on I mean, education is very important, but there's like a limit. You need to go out there and see by yourself, like do like for example with maintenance, you have to learn how to work with your hands, and yeah, they spend a lot of money on colleges. I think it's huge in America, right?
Oh yeah, going to school is huge in America, especially with the tech stuff, and that's another thing. They don't teach us about how to use a phone, how to use a laptop, how to facilitate your money. These are things that we're teaching each other, and our parole officers, the parole department is like just totally coming on board with assisting us. And that's one thing that I can say about San Francisco and Oakland. The parole department here is totally focused on you maintaining your freedom, being successful. Their resources are limited, but what resources that they do have for us, they give us, and it would help if we could help them help ourselves.
Mm,
And that's a whole separate issue within itself. You do all this time in prison, you get out, but the education that we get in prison is outdated. You know what I
completely.
mean? The
Yeah.
the computers need to be advanced. There's so many things that need to change. But when you get out here, I'm fortunate enough to have been blessed with friends like you, the Social Entrepreneurship Center, Bonafide, that's ran by Becca and David. All of us are none. Then you have, like I said, Drop the LWAP, CCWP. I even worked with my friend at Bowers Transportation, learning how to drive a charter bus. You know, we help each other.
Exactly.
In helping each other though, it's a financial strain. You know
Mm,
what I mean? It's a financial strain on my friend to try to help me because she has a job. You know what I mean? She has a family. It's a financial strain on the Social Entrepreneurship Center right now because the professor doesn't have enough money to run the center, and the resources that she has at the center she uses for people that are formerly incarcerated. She's not being able to do that, and a lot of what's coming through the center, some of it has came out of pocket, some has come from, you know, a grant, but we need help. The center needs help. You know, we have
mm,
a financial advisor who works through the center. That girl volunteers her time. Her time is really valuable. You know what I mean? So it's like I wish that more people would reach out in a different way. I know voting and I know the rules and laws and all that stuff need to be changed, but at the end of the day, you know, we need clothes, we need laptops, we need shoes, underwear, food. You know, we need to have a place where we can go and have a class and be established. Even my church has a building next to it. They've renovated that whole center and they're going to use that place to help people. You know what I'm saying? And it's Market Street Seven-Day Adventist Church in Oakland. And
mm,
I love my church. They have supported me through everything. They know everything there is to know about me, about my prison time, my family, my everything. And they don't judge me, you know, and I love them for that. And when I call my church and I ask them for help, they help me.
mm.
You know, they feed the homeless, they pass out clothes, they go and pray with the older people. I mean, my church is the bomb. And along with my church being the bomb, so are my friends. You know, my sisterhood, my family. And that's the thing that I'm trying to focus on is getting some more help, some more support from us for us from wherever I can get it from. You opened up a forum for me to be able to speak internationally, and this is like awesome, you know. And I love you for it, my friend. And I'm glad that I have this opportunity to be able to share, you know, my story and hoping that we can get some help.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely. When I met you, Angel, when I met you, I said, if I have the investment, I would invest directly in you. I just
I
said
know.
that. If I have the investment right now, I would give you all the investment. I think it's just I think it's an because I was one of also those people who's just so busy in like my work, traveling, just helping and supporting women in a different way, and suddenly life gave me a different experience about people in women in prison system. Also, the women in Mexico. When I met them, I felt like this is not just happening because it's happening to me. I need to hear their stories, and I need to connect with these women because a lot of people judge you by one thing you've done when you were a kid, and a lot of people would not forgive you. And I feel like we need to change this system, this so like a bad system prison where we judge people on something they have done in like I mean we all have done like big mistakes when we were like kids, and some things happen to us like by choice. Sometimes like we don't even have the choice when it happened, but we end up like in jail. So different situations. That is, I have a cousin who's in jail now in America. Um, and he's sentenced for life, but they've trying to like
Wow.
yeah they've been trying to release him since he's been like in jail for like 12 years. But I also felt like this whole prison system, it's like just too tough on humanity. They don't they just it's corrupt. It's corrupt. They just you know they they just they deal with you like you're not a human being, like you have done one mistake, you have to stay here forever, like. So I started thinking about it. I said, you know what, the women I met, like you, Angel, the women that I met, they need to speak about it, and we need more organizations working with women in prison and even after they
Exactly.
leave. Yeah, like everything,
It's the
laptops.
aftercare.
It's aftercare,
It's
exactly.
yeah, it's the aftercare that's the worst part of it. And just like you said, you know, it is true. The Mexican, the Hispanic women that are in prison in Mexico, It's the same here in America. The only difference is that we speak the same language.
Mm,
You know what I mean? But there are Hispanic women inside of our facilities that are here because they came across the border, just like you said, they got caught up with a pimp. They ended up killing their pimp and now they're doing life sentences. You
mm,
know, you have women that are in prison, that's just like my friend, her son. Her son is doing a life without sentence because of a phone call. You know what I mean? And it doesn't make any sense. And she's fighting and struggling to get him out of prison. And it's cold because the men's prison is worse than the women's
yeah.
all day long. They deal with some horrible issues. But then in the women's prison, we deal with the same issues, but on a different level. You have racism within the prison. You got some white girls in there that can get more done for them than I can. And it's done that way because just how I look. Have a conversation with me. You don't know where my head is at. And it
Mm,
doesn't happen. A lot of it's just judgment on your physical appearance. So it's like when you help the women, and the men have literally done more for us as far as like writing and giving us information. They pass information to us about different laws and different rules and things, and they help us, you know what I mean, to do like our paperwork and stuff. It's like a non-judgmental situation.
mm,
But even when you talk about the women, you do have a lot of women that have succumbed to the wiles of a man. I love you. Okay, well, if you love me, go do this or go do that. And it happens a lot. But
a
then you
lot.
have a lot of people that are just misguided, period, just because of things that happen in their lives. And like
Yeah.
you said, why keep judging me for something that happened? But it's the flip side of the politics of it. It's the flip side of the legal system of it. They're not
Mm,
looking at none of that. They're not looking at us as human beings. They're looking at you as a parasite.
mm.
And that's what my psychiatrist called me. She said I was a parasite. I'm like, parasite. And I looked it up, and a parasite is a organism that feeds off of other things,
Whoa. Where did you get that
and
term from?
because of the things that I did throughout my life.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And when I stopped and I thought about it, don't get me wrong, I didn't like what she said, but it was true because I sold drugs.
mm,
And when I sold drugs, I fed off of somebody else's life because they're taking food out of their kids' mouth to buy the drugs from me so I can live a certain way. And in my mind, I wasn't thinking about what happens at the end of the day. Do you understand what I'm saying? I
yeah.
wasn't tripping off of the effects of
Mm,
what I was doing. And so when she brought that to light to me, I said, wait a minute. I got to switch this up in my head. I cannot get free from prison and do that anymore. I have to
sure.
figure out how to give back to my society. So giving back to my society is doing what I'm doing right now, telling my story, letting people know that I've changed, maintaining my relationship with God, and then doing the best I can to pay it forward for my sisters that are coming home.
Tell us about God. Where did you got like mostly you felt like we have something like in most religions are like similar to each other, but we have something like where we say they got enlightened or they got like a stroke directly like a lightning stroke from God where they realize that God do exist and God is in us and it's God is everywhere. So when was that time that happened to you?
I believe when I went to the board, and I want to say I went before the parole board 7 times. And, you know, in them 7 times, I was still doing things that I was doing, you know, and nothing was working, nothing. So I started going to church and I started praying, and my mom started praying with me. And I just said, you know what, God, I keep trying to do this myself. And there's something wrong with this program I'm working out for myself. I need your help. I need your guidance. I said, I'm turning my life over to you to allow you to help me. And things just started changing. But I realized that I had to change my friends. I had to change my way of thinking. I had to change the way I was living. And I had to just completely remove myself. So they have what's called an honor cottage.
Mm,
And I moved from one unit to the honor cottage. And when I moved to the honor cottage, everything just kind of like opened up for me because I had unlimited access to resources, but to different people that helped me along the way. You know, even though they were convicts like me, they had been there and done that with other people. So they started talking to me and coaching me and telling me, look, you know, don't lie. Just go in there and tell the truth. You know, tell what really happened. I never took responsibility for my part in my crime. And that was the biggest character flaw that I had was my sense of denial, but I didn't see it that way until that psychiatrist called me a parasite.
Oh,
My ear is itching.
yeah. So
Woo!
but
And so,
you told me something that made me think a lot when I met you. You said people take freedom for granted.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Tell me
yes,
more
they
about
do.
that.
Because, since I've been home, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, I walked through my apartment naked and went to the refrigerator and I opened the door and I just stood there. And I thought to myself, wow, I have a choice. I have a choice of drinking milk, drinking a soda, drinking cold water, drinking orange juice. That's a small thing, but in prison you don't have that choice. You got to get up when that door is open, you go eat when it's time to go eat, you come back to your room, you in your room. Even though you have canteen and things like that in your room that you can cook yourself, you think, okay, I got a little bit of freedom. They're still dictating to you when to poop, when to shower, when to eat, when to go to work. I'm home now. None of that's going on.
Of
None
course.
of that's going on. People take for granted, I can eat ice cream when I want to. I don't have to wait till I shop canteen once a month for ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, if I want some cookies, I can walk in there and oh no, I can go to the grocery store and get any kind of damn cookie I want. You can't
Mm,
do that in prison. You're limited to whatever it is that they sell there. I can cook on the stove, in the oven. I don't have to cook in a plastic bag with a stinger. It's just so many little bitty things. Even when it comes down to socks and shoes, I don't have to buy one size fit all socks anymore. I can actually go to the store and buy socks that fit me, underwear, boulder holders, the whole 9 yards. There's so many little bitty things that we take for granted.
yeah. That's what I love about you. When you told me these things, I'm like, a lot of people take, tiny things that are offered to them from God, from life, and they just complain about it. I'm like, you need to go see the world. You need to go see other people how they're living, and people in prison. I mean, I definitely felt like I'm blessed to meet a woman like you, Angel,
Oh man.
and a lot of even other women. Like the women also in Mexico where they just gathered and shared, like opened up, like they told me about everything. Of course, in Spanish, but there was translation. But I just felt so connected to them. They said even they lost loved ones while they are in jail, and they don't know how to connect with their loved ones. And I gave them some simple exercises to make them, like I told them, listen, when you wake up in the morning, have you heard of something called like meditation, or just sitting by yourself, just going deep inside with that emotion and trying to connect? I told them the prison, the all these walls around you is just it's just attached to this world, but there is more to it. You can access other dimensions and connect to a lot of people who are dead, or people who still, let's say, don't talk to you. There's other ways of communication. It's exactly like how we're connected on our mobile phones, but because we can see it and we can, there's like a sound and all these technology, but there's other things that are hidden. If we know how to use it, we can access other dimensions. And they were blown by the ideas. They came to me and they said, can you teach us? Can you, what should I do when I sit down by it? They never even thought about it. So just amazing how you can change people's lives by just sometimes one visit. And you changed my life by one visit, like to Mealy's college. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have a friend for life, and I
Yeah,
knew it.
Batman.
Yeah. She calls me Batman, I call her Angel.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
just
just amazing.
it's the connectivity, but going back, like, I was devastated when my mom passed. That oh, And still to this day, I still trip off of her being gone because that was my girl, that was my world. And when I look at it and I think about it, it like I want to cry right now. And I realize that no matter what happens, I'm gonna always cry for my mom, you know, because I was preparing to go to the parole board when she passed away. So I never had the opportunity to mourn her. So
Mm,
when they found me suitable for parole in 2016, I was like, okay, yeah, thank you. But it didn't mean anything because part of the struggle of me wanting to come home was to be with my mom before she passed away.
yeah.
So, the counselor called me to the office and she says, I got some bad news for you. And I told her, I said, my mom passed. And she just looked at me. I said, yeah, but like you say, I felt it. I knew she was sick, because her caregiver contacted me and was like, hey, she didn't want me to tell you, but your mom is sick. She didn't tell me what she was sick from. The only thing she told me was that she had a large hole on the side of her right breast, and it literally had whatever she had, it had eaten through her flesh. So she had a large hole on the side of her breast, and my mother was never one for traditional medication. So she did her herb thing and,
Yeah.
and it kept her healthy for 88 years. But, you know, I don't know, this, whatever it was, it just took control of her and I knew it. And I went back to my job and my supervisor there, she just grabbed me and she hugged me. And she
Mm,
said, you go home, you come back to work Monday. And if you need time off after that, I'll give you that. And when I got back to my unit, I was just like, I've never lost anything. I never lost anything of value. I never lost anything that was that important to me. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to say. And then I realized, I said, you know what? Regardless to what may have happened in my life, I did something that had that same effect on somebody else. And at that moment, I realized that, you know what? God showed something to me. Hold on one second.
yeah.
Where they at? Oh, that you knocked on the door? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry,
No,
but
no, it's okay.
it did. It just had a life altering effect on me. And that's when I told God, I said, God, at that moment with my mom passing, it reconnected me to humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It reconnected me to emotions that I had just like squashed
Mm.
completely. I don't want to feel this. And then that just changed the dynamics of everything in me and made me realize that I have to help. I have to put myself out there to be accessible to people who need me, you know? But I hate I had to lose my mom to learn that.
I know sometimes life throw rocks at us to teach
That
us
was a
lessons.
brick,
A break.
a big old
But
boulder, like boom. Psh.
and Angel, I want you to say it out loud to people how, and it will be the last question, how people can support you.
Um, there's numerous ways that you can support me. If you want to support financially, that's fine. If you want to send books, clothes, uh, toothpaste, socks, shoes, hats, gloves, coats, if you know anybody that owns any property in San
Yeah.
Francisco that would be willing to,
I want to write your email address on the chat
okay,
so people can find it.
yeah, and my phone number if you want.
Yeah.
You can call
Uh,
me.
yeah. Can you write it on the chat box? Do you see the chat
Yeah,
box? Yeah.
yeah. Let
If you
me
can
get
write
down
your
here.
phone number, I'll just copy paste your email address
Okay.
for people to contact you.
All righty.
Okay,
Okay.
here's the email address for everyone.
Right, and
And
my phone
when
number
I'm
is
yeah, and when I'm gonna definitely edit everything and I'm gonna post it on all our social media platform. I'm gonna add all your details so people can contact you. So it's okay to add your
S.
phone number as well on social media.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I want everybody to support Kelly as much as they can, in whatever way they can, and I believe they should know her story and hear your story, Angel. I mean, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome, my friend.
this amazing interview. It's like you guys, Angel is like one of the best people I met.
Nah, you the
I
bomb.
Yeah,
You the
and
business. I wish I
she's
could
an
be a hero
amazing.
like you, man.
Oh, you are my hero. You inspire me in different ways. I mean, I never even thought about freedom. I never even thought about, people in prison. I never, because, you take life for granted fully. You don't know that you're going to lose something one day. And it's just meeting different women. Like I met, also, I interviewed a woman who got disabled at the age of 30, 31, and then she has completely to change her life and adapt. She said, I took my life for granted, and suddenly she lost her ability to walk, and then she has to adapt all over again on the age of 30, which is like not young. And that's why I created the empowerment zone. I mean, it's important for people to hear those voices and to know that, you all inspire us. You inspire us, Angel. And
Thank you.
thank you. I mean, thank you so much for this amazing interview on a Saturday morning. And I hope, yeah, I hope you have you just started your day. We're here it's around 12
What
p.m.
time is what?
It's,
It's 12
yeah,
o'clock in the afternoon where you are?
yeah, it's
Oh my God.
we are on Eastern time. You are on Pacific time.
Shoot, the kids is
So
waking up now, just eating breakfast.
no, they're gonna eat breakfast now. But
Hmm.
no, thank you so much, Angel, for this
No,
amazing
thank
interview.
you.
For everybody joined,
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining us, and please subscribe on our website. They're telling you thank you here on the chat box.
Aw.
Yeah, and everybody who wants to get more information about the next guest and our programs, sign up at shefighter.com, and have an amazing weekend, everybody. And I think, yeah, Angel, you're typing something to. I'll let you finish typing for. Oh yeah, she's saying thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody,
Yes, my friend.
and yeah, thank you again, Angel, and everybody.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend.
All right. Enjoy your weekend too, friend. You
Thank you so
better
much.
call me.
I will definitely.
All
Take
right.
care.
All
Take care.
right. You too.
Thanks, everybody.